Hello and welcome to another episode of Raman Rewinds. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about S. Venkatraghavan, the former Indian captain and also the former elite panel umpire who was extraordinarily good in all the roles that he undertook during his involvement in the field of cricket. Yes, Venkataraghavan started off as one who was quicker through there, who bowled faster than the rest of the members in the spin quartet. But later on, he obviously worked on developing his craft, became very deceptive, and he was one who was adept at bowling according to the demands of the situation and alter the style that he bowled with according to the situation. And that's probably what set him apart. He could be defensive, he could be aggressive. I remember having a chat with Tiger Patodi, trying to find out what it is that he thought of Venkataraghavan. And Tiger Patodi's answer was that he was a captain's delight. He would do what we asked of him, absolute team man. He could have been a much better batter as far as numbers are concerned. He said that he could have been something like Ravi Shastri as far as the batting numbers are concerned. And he felt that Venkataraghavan did not devote enough attention towards his batting. But however, he's had a lot of things to be proud about. As Venkataraghavan, he was the first captain for India in the World Cup. He led India in the first two World Cups, that was in 75 and 79 in England. And of course, after his retirement as a player, he was an administrator, he was a secretary of the TNCA, then he was a manager of the Indian side, then he was a match referee, then he went on to become a member of the ICC Elite panel of umpires, and he distinguished himself in all the roles that he executed. I met Venkataraghavan when I was in the mid-teens, and before I met him, all I heard about him was that he could be very, very ferocious as far as outbursts are concerned, and that he had a very fiery temper. But I've seen it, but I've not been subjected to it because for some reason I struck the right medium with Venkataraghavan. I knew how to handle him. I knew when to talk to him, when not to talk to him, what to talk about and what not to talk about, because I very quickly found out very early that Venkataraghavan would not tolerate impertinence. You could tick him off, you could tell him off, he would take that, but he would not tolerate impertinence. And perhaps that was the reason why I never got the wrong end of the stick as far as fiery temper is concerned. And as I got to know him after playing in his last couple of seasons alongside with him, he always reminded me of that character Peter O'Toole played in that movie, The Night of the Generals. Peter O'Toole plays the character of General Tang, where General Tang is very specific, very particular, and he wanted everything to the T. And that's something that Venkataraghavan was as well. He did not tolerate anybody not giving their best. He always wanted everybody to excel, and be it a bartender in terms of mixing a drink late in the evening, or be it a cricketer on the field of play. He wanted everybody to give their all, no matter how small or big the situation was. And that's the kind of person he is. And if anybody were to fall short of his expectations, he would not be pleased, and he would make it clear in no uncertain terms at all. And that's exactly what did not go well with a lot of people, but that's how he was. He let go and then he forgot about it. He was never one to carry any grudges. He was never vindictive. And most importantly, he was in the face and he was ruthlessly honest. And he would never do things behind your back or never speak anything behind one person's back. Yes, as a cricketer, he was a great source of inspiration for me. I learned a lot of things from him. In fact, he was one of the most influencing factors in my cricketing life. I was fortunate to play alongside him, as I said earlier, in his last couple of seasons. And even at that stage and at that age, he was around 39, 40 when he played the last Ranji Trophy season. The competitive streak in him never ebbed away at all. It was always there in full flow. I remember one particular game against Delhi, and we were playing at the M.A. Chidambaram Stadium. There was one particular batter who can be cocky. He danced down the track, hit a couple of sixes of Venkatraghavan, and then he mockingly laughed at him. And Venkataraghavan, never want to sort of miss all this, went on to say in Tamil. That's what he did. When he got really angry, his outburst was in Tamil. He told in Tamil, hold on for another 2 overs, I'll get your teeth. Then we'll see who's laughing. And after I heard this, I couldn't control myself. I started laughing. And Venki happened to notice that, and he was not too pleased with it. And true to his word, a couple of overs later, this batter jumped down the track, and he was shaping to try and work the ball away. But what happened was that the ball went and hit him on the teeth because of the fact that Venkataraghavan had followed through a lot more, and he bowled a lot more quicker, and as a result, produced some extra bounce. So when he saw the ball hitting the batter on his face and on his teeth, Venkataraghavan walked down the track and said, "Now I want to see you laugh." That's the kind of competitive person he is. It didn't matter to him whether he was playing a game of carom with his children, or whether he was playing a first-class match or an international match. The level of ferocity, the intensity was always the same as far as Venkataraghavan was concerned. And he was one who would also be receptive when you told him the facts, and when you pointed out that he did not get it right. I happened to do that to him in the Calcutta Test in 93, 94 against England. I was not playing that game. I was fielding as a substitute at Selly Point. I still remember Neil Fairbrother goes onto the front foot, tries to defend against Rajesh Chavan, and then he was indecisive. And what happens is that he tucked his bat inside his pad, but on the way the ball brushed the glove, and Kiran More caught it, and he went up immediately, spontaneously. And I followed suit as well, because it was obvious to us it was a case of the ball brushing the glove on its way to Kiran More's hands. And Venkataraghavan said not out, and at the end of the over, I had to go across to square leg, which means that I was fielding at square leg, standing next to Venkataraghavan, and Venkataraghavan quietly asked me, "What is all the drama about?" I said, "Sir, it's not a drama, for the simple reason. The ball did brush the glove, and that's the reason we are very sure that we needed to appeal, and unfortunately you couldn't see it." He said, "I can't give what I don't see." I said, "Fair enough." But at the same time, I think the word drama need not have been used. So he said, "Okay, point taken, and we are good." And that's the kind of man he is. If you had the gumption, if you had the guts to tell him things, he would take it. Even if you're pointing out a mistake from his end, he would take it. And that is what really stood out for me. There's a lot of things that is always happening when Venkataraghavan is around. And that is because he can either teach you a lot of things if you're a willing learner, or is obviously teaching a lot of people the basic etiquette in terms of conversation. And that's the reason why it's always a pleasure to be around Venkataraghavan and to be talking to him. And of late, he's spending a lot more time in the United States of America due to various reasons. And it was heartening to see him having a good time when he was in Chennai. And I was also happy about the fact that he looked good. He definitely looked much better than what he was about 4 or 5 years ago, because he did have a little bit of an health issue, but he's gotten better now. But no matter what it is, no matter how many years pass by, the basic Venkataraghavan that we know will always be there. He'll never tolerate impertinence. Be that as it may, and Venkataraghavan was somebody we always looked up to, and I personally always look up to him because he was an inspiration for many reasons, not just that because he succeeded on the field of cricket, but even off the field. There are a lot of things that one can learn from him, and I have benefited a lot in talking to him, not only about cricket, about various other things too. I'd like to wind up by saying that I feel privileged that I know Venkatraghavan, and it was an honor for me to have been mentored by him and also to have had him teaching us a lot of things all these years. That's it from me on this episode, and until I catch up with you next time around, be good and stay safe.